Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you joining us this Monday evening at 9 p.m. on Wasalam TV and Prime Television and on all what you're watching us today. Now today we have with us someone very special and important joining us in our studios today. That is Asoka Rupasinghe, the head of finance at the Qatar National Bank and the former CFO of the Bank of Ceylon in Sri Lanka. And he is here in Sri Lanka for a few days and we managed to get him on board for a wonderful and exclusive interview on the Spotlight. So thank you for joining us today, sir.
Thank you, madam.
So let's start off with a question to you going like this. As a former CFO working for the Bank of Ceylon, and then you moved into Qatar, now you're head of finance there. Let's talk about that shift. What was it like and what was that financial step like for you?
It's a long journey. In fact, I started my career from Anuradhapura, and then I became a chartered accountant and joined government sector. And when I was working at the Securities and Exchange Commission, I got an opportunity to work with the Qatar Commercial Bank of Qatar first.
Okay.
And then I worked for 10 years and actually I did a lot of wonderful transactions that in large scales in like acquisitions, fundraising.
Yeah.
And well, that actually warranted me to join Bank of Ceylon in 2009 after the war.
Yeah.
When the war is finished.
Yeah.
I decided to come back to help the development process that was there at that time in the country. And I worked for 5 years and then I was invited again back to Qatar National Bank. Actually, I'm in Kuwait, not in Qatar.
Okay.
Qatar National Bank, Kuwait, as head of finance. There are so many things in the career. As we go ahead, actually, I would like to explain certain projects that we had and certain large projects that I conducted in Bank of Ceylon as well.
Yeah. Now you were also instrumental in a huge transaction in bringing in $1 billion to Sri Lanka. Let's talk about that huge transaction. How was it enabled into our country?
Well, honestly,
for what was it used?
Just after the war, and we were like disparate country, and there was because we were torn apart from the war. And at that time, the global crisis, 2008 crisis, about to finish. Yeah. And we finished the war, and the world started recovering. So you see, from negative to negative to positive to positive, here. So I thought we must actually now tap international market. And it was an experience, it was a risk that we have taken, because a transaction can fail also. At
that time, what was your designation?
My designation was Chief Financial Officer.
Okay.
Bank of Ceylon.
Bank of Ceylon at the time.
In fact,
as well.
I am the one who actually coordinated with the external lawyers, international lawyers, documentation part, because I had a lot of experience in this aspect in my previous employer, and I capitalized that knowledge into this one. It was very challenging because it's the first instrument and an experience to Sri Lankan bank. I mean, we call it non-sovereign, meaning other than the government, any other institution going to bond market, this was the first one. And the relative size is also large, 500 million for Sri Lankan size. You must have a story for the international audience to embrace.
And what was your story?
Our story was actually from negative to negative, from of the positive to positive, right? World was not doing well and we were in war. And now we have finished the war and the world is recovering. So there must be some dividends of this, right? For 30 years, our mindset was war-torn, right? And it's a new world, new opportunities. Nobody knows what the value is and nobody knows how to encash it. And that is what we wanted to do. And that was the opportunity and that was the story we told.
After that, what was this lump sum, what was it used for?
It was used for our banking funding book, and it's a diversified funding portfolio, the large bank, and we have USD borrowings. We use these funds for our lending purposes, and we actually thereafter went for the second bond also for the second largest 500 million. Even that one also done by Bank of Ceylon.
Yeah.
After that, couple of other banks did. Yeah.
Now you have experience in both, securities and in the Exchange Commission, and also in banking. So it's quite a diverse, diverse paths that you have been working on. Has this been an issue for you? Working in different fields.
No, in fact, Securities and Exchange Commission was the regulator of the stock exchange. That is also actually the capital market, where the banks are actually financial market. Kind of both are parallel to each other. But if you are a doctor, whether you like for a manufacturing organization or for a military organization, you will be a doctor.
Yes.
Right? Your profession is medicine, doctor. And similarly, I'm an accountant, I'm financial expert. Whatever the institution doesn't matter to me. I am hired for my financial expertise. So it doesn't matter to me. It's a matter of understanding different organizations, the workflows, the culture, and the business flows. That's all what is required.
So how did you navigate through all these different, it's different routines, different concepts. How did you navigate and use all of that in your work?
Madam, it's actually, you need to build a personality, right, coupled with past experience and a kind of a self-confidence. Is what actually navigated, like for instance, the CFO of the bank was like the second line. The bank board was not very, I could not add any confidence to them because I come from a different country and I don't know, they don't know me, I don't know the board. And so I had to actually sell myself in the board saying that I'm okay, I'm suitable for this one. So what brought me to this seat was my confidence, and the board acknowledged in my interview presentation the level of confidence that I actually presented to the board.
Okay.
That's how I navigated.
Now, in terms of branding, it comes as a very important aspect, in any field. How important is it, do you think, when it comes to the financial sector?
To me, madam, I'm very passionate about branding. Branding doesn't necessarily mean that you show yourself, you appear to be nice, you appear to be, seductive. No, actually it is a much more deeper concept for a person, for an organization, for a product, for anything. Even for toilet washing, there must be an element of branding. What is all about branding for me is do it right. Do it right means sammavayam in Buddhism, in Arya Ashtangika Marga, sammavayam is do whatever you do it right. Maybe you are playing drum, maybe you are washing toilets, or maybe you are doing anything. Anything that you do it right, that you can build a brand. Now, for instance, I believe in personal branding for people like you, right? Professionals, the younger people, when I say like you, people who are aspiring for a longer career, right, in wherever you are, right? So branding is all about building value, accumulating value into you, inside you, and if you are selling a product, accumulate the value. It's actually the corporate story that goes to that product. Like for instance, when you drive a BMW, you get into the car, what do you feel? You feel extremely amazing. Why? Because those people had that passion for the quality of that product. That particular product talks of the value that they have building over years and years into that product. Similarly, as a person, you must brand yourself. Does not mean that you try to show off. No, you must accumulate value into you. You see, branding is all about what is inside. What comes out is what is inside. So you to be a branded personality, you must have something inside. So all what I believe in that for a person like you, what the advice I can give you, first you build inner content, you be content rich, and then your value automatically comes out, and people, it's visible, it becomes visible, everyone can understand, everyone can see that you have a value, and that becomes your brand.
Is this a general opinion that you have? What do you, in terms of the financial sector, is it the same thing that you tell them?
It doesn't have a boundary. if you are selling a product in finance, if you're giving a loan, how do you give a loan? Are you giving a loan in a way that no other person can give? The customer comes back to you, customer comes back again and again to you, and customer goes and consult other people to come to you, because this bank gives a loan much different to all other people. That means that has a value, right? So actually branding is a concept within and anything else that you, if you are selling, if you are washing a toilet, there is a branded way of, for instance, ICC company. ICC company is very famous for toilet washing, right? They are doing it in a branded style, right? And why? Because they wash the toilet in a way that no one else can wash. That is called branding for me. You know, it has a value, it has a long accumulated value, it cannot build overnight. So if you are planning, if anyone who listens to this conversation wants to develop a brand in your personality, first thing is you develop yourself, your inner value. You be content rich inside first, and then that content rich must be displayed. And to display, you must have richness inside. So automatically that value comes out from you. So it takes a long process.
So to build inner content and to make you rich inside, we've also having this conversation where you take in a lot of information from all religions, from different books and scripts. Let's talk a little bit about that as well.
You see, I read religious textbooks not from religious angles, but from philosophical angles. What management principles we can take it from. Let me tell you one thing, that Lord Buddha, when he preached for the Pasvaga Mahanun, right, the 5 disciples, he preached Arya Ashtangika Marga, 8 noble path. What it says, first vision, right? Samma means, Sang means actually your black spots inside you. Ma means remove. And then after removing, you see it. What are your black spots? Your past experiences, the way you have been brought up, where you have been inspired, with all that actually inspires your decision. Buddhism says, remove it. You see the world as a brand new world, different, then you will start a different world. So similarly, if you are actually promoting a brand, a product in the market, forget about all your past experience. Remove all your past habits, practices, all these loopholes. Look at in a totally different concept, then you will see a different product, a different customer. This is called, you are actually enlightening your vision, you are empowering your vision. You see something that other people cannot see. You're widening your this thing. This is called Aloka Udapadi in Buddhism, right? So when everything, the darkness is removed, you can see to yourself, you can see 360-degree view, you can exactly decide which product that I am good at, I can market, and how it should be embraced by the market, you are well informed of. And that is what the textbooks talks about. Then it says, okay, do the right thing, samma vayama, right? Don't do anything that that comes. You have to choose what you are good at. Okay.
How do you do that?
How do you do that is a good question. I will answer you after this in a minute. Sure. How do you do that is the best question you asked in this question, right? Now, third one, whatever you choose, do it right. Samma vayama, right? You just try the way that no one else can try it. You know, anything you do can be copied. You can create your own competitor. Anything you do, anyone can copy, but something that cannot be copied. You know what? This is called branding. You know what they cannot copy from you?
Your identity.
No, the way you are doing. The way you are doing is specially attached to you. Where a company serves the customers, it's attached to them. That's called core competence in management textbooks. I don't want to use those technical words, right? So it's the way you are doing things that cannot be copied. So you master the way you are doing things, and that becomes special to you. So that is your brand. Okay. Now you ask me, how do you choose this one? This is the biggest study that the Buddha has recommended, a textbook called Arya Paryashan. You try to discover yourself. When you discover and start reading into yourself, you find what you are good at, what you are not good at, right? So if you are, then you can choose what you are good at.
Yeah.
So if you're not good at, and you choose something, if you're not good at, that means you are likely to fail, right? But if you understand yourself and do something that is you are good at, you are likely to succeed.
How do you incorporate, teachings of people from the past to the present? From historical events in the past, I'm sure you would grasp lessons from their life, people, events, occurrences that happen. How do you incorporate it?
Your past is going to be your future. This is guaranteed. This is what our 2,500 years old textbook suggests. The same thing, what is happening now, has happened several times in the past. So our past experience means you are likely to face the same thing in future, same experience in future. So you will not forget the past. Your past experience means actually how you are managing your present. I mean, your present becomes the past, right? And you don't.
So you believe it's all connected?
Oh, it's all connected in the sense the past is actually what you are doing today. Tomorrow is the past, right? So what I do today will decide the shape and the form of my future. So I believe the past is a source of lessons, a collection of knowledge and experiences. To take that in good spirit, not to recur the past mistake that I made in the past. That is all what we have to learn from the past. The experience is why the past experience matters to anyone, any institution, any government, any personality, is that it will actually inspire you, tell you that, okay, I will not recur my past mistakes. So learning from the past is important, that you are not likely to face the same old problem in future. This is the first thing. Second thing, actually, past experience means you are getting weighted out, meaning you become sharpened. Your experience, harder the experience, sharper you are. So I would actually encourage people to recollect, investigate, review and relook at all your experiences, so that actually you can reprogram your future. So to that extent, the past experiences are very important. Now to me, it was personally, it inspired me. I made several mistakes. I do still make mistakes, in fact, because every time we build,
we are human at the end of the day. Yeah.
But to the extent that I would have made mistakes is controlled with my past experience. Okay, past is such a good inspiration for you if you don't forget.
Now we're talking about mistakes. As an established person in the financial sector, what are some of the most common mistakes you see people in the financial sector making?
Financial sector, or particularly individuals making?
Yeah, anything.
Yeah, actually, in
personal.
Like for instance, let me tell you like this: like if you are building a career, right? There are certain things that you should not do; they should do, right?
Yeah.
First thing, actually, your branding element that we talked about, right? First, you should build a value into you, right? And that's a continuous effort. Your knowledge, your experience, learning from people, listening to the stories, that is consistently, you continue and you believe in that, okay? Secondly, I call it actually the dress before you address, right?
Dress before you address.
Yes. This means, like I'll tell you an example. If you are a dancer, you can beautifully dance, and you go to a town and you start dancing naked. What do you think? People will receive you? No, people will throw you stones, right? But how? And you can argue, oh no, I'm a bright dancer. Why don't they see my dance? No, that's not the way people take you. They will throw stones at you, and sometimes you will be jailed. The police will come and catch you. Right? Why? Because you did not dress. Right? Every talented person, if you are building a talent, if you are building a career, you need to build a dress along with that. Dress code. Dress code means this is not the dress code I'm talking about. It's a personal package, a skill set that should go along with the talents. Otherwise, you will be thrown out from any organization. You are talented, but you don't have other things. Like for instance, you don't know how to relate with people. You get angry, and you don't tolerate others' views. You don't believe that there is always another way of doing things, right? Those are problems. Right?
No teamwork.
You cannot relate with teams, and you are an isolated person. You don't believe in any other people, right? You believe on yourself, and you have overestimate of yourself. I can name 100 things, right? So those are the things that you have to dress yourself first. Then actually you can be a talented person. Your talent will survive. You will continue to be a talented person, and society will accept you, and even in your organization. Right? Your question is okay. To fill up this one, I also advise people also to physically dress, right, to show who you are.
First impression
actually doesn't necessarily mean this thing. Let me tell you about the first impression also, since you asked. But first, the dress code, and I believe seriously about seductions. Right, seductive skills. It is a skill. Now, people misunderstand seduction means you appear sexually appealing to others. Like, for instance, if you are a beautiful girl, you sexually appeal yourself to male. If you are a young person, you muscule and you make appear to others. No, actually, that is not seductive skills. Seductive skills is all about making an impression about who exactly you are. Right? Your beauty, your way, your personality, all must come as a total, complete package. And that is seduction in a broad sense, right? So people should practice seductions, right? Because you're always, unfortunately, dealing with a society. And your wealth, your career, length and width of your career, whether you like it or not, is decided not by you, but by others. Right? So you cannot live your own life. You have to live according to how they want you to, how they value you. Right?
Is that a good way though?
Of course, because tell me, can you get promoted by yourself? No, you should convince your boss that you are a promote-worthy, right? Promotion-worthy character. So, but if you are not promotion-worthy, even if you are promotion-worthy, your boss can still reject your promotion. Why? Because you have not sold yourself, your personality, your value to the boss. You have failed in convincing your boss, right? So your career, for instance, a good successful organization, do you think that without the customer buying their goods, they can survive?
No.
No. So choice of the customer, the decision of the customer will decide your length and width of your wealth. Yeah. So that people need to understand. That is called impression. Yeah, so that's why I said that the dress part, you have to dress with all that is acceptable to people you are working, because it's called coexistence. You cannot exist alone. Yeah. And you asked me about first impression.
Yes.
What do you mean by first impression? People think, okay, I must go to an interview, I must appear very beautiful, and I must answer all the questions, I must read the organization. No, that is wrong. First impression is all about your ability to tell your listener in the very shortest moment who exactly you are. That other person takes the right judgment about you. So if you are presenting something, a bogus personality, it's a very big risk for both sides, and then eventually people will take a decision on you. That decision is wrong, and that you are also wrong, because you are not the right person that they expected. Right? And both people are in trouble. So first impression is all about to show who exactly you are, what brand value you have, what your content value you have, so that other people take a decision about you without any mistake. Can you do that? Can you present yourself in a way that other person, anyone that you have no idea about you before, can take a quick decision on you? Now, he is such a person. That is your ability, and that is called first impression. And it is not just a very simple commodity, as many people would interpret.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about something more different. We know that the brain drain is happening, and we see a trend of people leaving our country, youth. They're leaving our country for greener pastures, for more opportunities. Why do you think this is happening? At a time when Sri Lanka is in a crisis, do you think it's ideal that people should leave Sri Lanka?
In the current context, I see no problem of people going out. Sometimes you may argue with me, you may laugh at me.
But
can I say?
Where at a loss, doctors, specialists are leaving.
Let me tell you, if
How
I
is that
continue,
an advantage?
there is a young person, right? Now he has a choice to make. He can go overseas or he can work here. First, to make that decision, in this country, can he maximize himself, his skills, his passion? He can capitalize, he can build up himself. If the answer no, then he will check the next best alternative. If I go out, do I get an opportunity to build myself? Do I have an opportunity to show my talents, master my talents? If the answer is yes, obviously they will go, right? But this is a temporary phenomenon, right? Because the migration of the people from one country to another country has happened all throughout the history, right?
Yeah.
People have run away, millions and millions of people in other countries. This has not happened to Sri Lanka still. Why people at the moment are going? Because of they don't have any faith in the system. People believe that this system is corrupted. And even if you are talented, even if you have something, some value, there is no way to encash it. And there is no trust or hope that they can be somebody in the society. And when that happens, actually people can go down to any level, especially young people, without any hopes. I don't have a job tomorrow, I don't get any opportunity to go for an interview. Day after also I don't get an opportunity. Even if I get a job, I will never be able to build a house. I will never be able to buy a plot of land. Or for that matter, I won't be able to even pay out the rental, right? There is no place for me to stay. So what next best for them? They are frustrated. Right? That frustration happens.
Well, do you have faith in the system?
In the current system?
The question is open. Do you have faith in the system?
No, I don't.
You don't?
I don't. I believe the system is corrupt from the bottom to the top. I'm not actually blaming the politicians or the governments, right? This is an accumulation of several decades a problem that now we have come to the culmination. I think we have not still seen the top of the mountain. We have to still move up and see the biggest crisis coming up. I don't trust this system because this system is corrupt from all over, all the levels. Can I ask you a question? If you go to the government department to get a small thing done, what is the best way? You don't have to tell me, I will tell you. There's a choice for you to make, right? Either you go official way, right? You will find incredible harassment to you. They go to the point, everything is very official, formal, and you have to go through, I had to count maybe 100 times.
Yes.
Alternatively, if you can spend couple of thousands,
use an alternative
you do
route.
it on the spot. So which one do you choose? For me, I would choose the last, right? I spend a couple of thousand and get my things done. Everyone thinks like this. Every officer thinks like that. Every layer is believing in that organizations.
Yes.
Right? So when the whole system is corrupted, you
That
think
is,
that I should
people
trust?
tend to lose faith and trust.
No, this is a Sri Lanka biggest trouble. We need a tough change for this.
We were talking about people leaving the country, and I'm getting into something, regarding the laws. Do you think laws need to be changed in the financial and development sector, IT?
I think everything should change.
Where do we start?
Starting from our political system, I believe, I'm not a politician, but I believe that democratic system, the current party politics, has its own inbuilt problems, in the sense that can we vote the person I like? No. I have to vote the person that party nominates, right? That nominated person may not be the right person, or perhaps always it's not the right choice for us, right? So our people who vote have no choice. They cannot send the people of their choice. Actually, this is the bogus democracy. This is not called democracy. Democracy means I must have a path or the system or a methodology that a person we believe is the right person, we should be able to send it, right? But can we do that? No. We have to choose the people who have been nominated by the parties, right? If not this one or this one, if not this one, this one. No, none of these people, then my vote will be waste. So that means this democratic system needs to modify. That is the starting point. How to modify? We must ensure that for the finance, that each party nominates people of value, people of education, people of talents, people of experience in different fields. That each party must display that they have a person capable of health, a person capable of sports, a person capable of agriculture, a person capable of roads and road construction, a person capable of the water, the canalling and the irrigation systems of the country. See, each person must display that their candidate is good at something, right? And that methodology is now not available. So tell me, where is that assessment taking place? There is no way that we assess. You take parties, most of them are lawyers, right? Where are the engineers? Where are the architects? Where are the artists? Where are cross sections must represent party nominations, irrespective. So when that party comes, a full package people are available for right policy decision making. We don't have. We are just picking people from nowhere. Education, professor education issues, he is posted as road development. This is what is happening in this country. And next day he is changed to another. Cabinet changes taking so many times. How can you develop a country like this? Can a private sector institution change people? Today finance head is someone and tomorrow someone else. And a person who was selling is now in finance, and the person who is in finance is now selling. Can you do? Now today the photographer is doing the presentation and you are doing the photography. Can this institution survive? No, we cannot. This is what is happening in the government. So the problem is that change from that democratic system needs modifications. And then the law and order, implementation of the law and order to the point. And that requires a political tone of the head. Head must ensure that the right people are put in the right place and the right people are chosen on a right process. It is not just I choose the person. That is also not right, right? There must be a system, I think all party connected system to choose the people for the right positions. Every boards, every chairmen of the public institutions, even for that matter the private institutions. There must be some procedure to ensure that the right people are chosen. The right person is at the right place. That system. The right delegation of work. Right delegation and the right skill, the job and the skill, person and matching, profile matching, the skill set and the person must be matched. And that's the scientific process, and that won't take much time. That is what I think is the starting point. What about in terms of education from an international and global perspective? Where do you think we can start? Because a child starts education from kindergarten. So maybe we as a country could make changes and add in more subject material which is focused on, personal development, branding, financial, what else can we do as a country? Can I tell you that I came to Sri Lanka because I wanted to join this development process, and my children also came. They were studying in foreign schemes, right? When they came, they join the Sri Lankan syllabus, right? Now my son is 24 years, still he's not passed out from the university. Okay. His parallels who were studied in that country, they are now reading in MBAs. First degree is finished, MBA. They are in almost terminal end of the MBAs. So now my children have to compete with them, right? By the time my child gets out of the university, my younger son is still now 20 years. He's still getting ready for the exam or A-level examination, getting postponed, endless. Right now, still 20. But by the 20 years, in Indian student has done the first degree. Right? So when we compete globally, can we go ahead with this kind of education system? Right? And how many choices do we have in the education system? Tell me. In this Paheshishat, what you call the scholarship examinations, what do? They choose the people who can answer that question paper. Do you think it is the right process to identify people? No. People should be identified. Their passion should be identified. There must be a process to identify the passion of the children, right? And then promote the education that the child is passionate about. Change the career into that from that examination. It's not a testing of the IQ, the knowledge, and the moms are trying to push people. We cannot choose people like that, because people who are not good at the studies, not good at the examination, are very good at. Now, for instance, I failed the scholarship exam. Right? I have seen brilliant persons in my school who passed. They are now actually selling fish and things like that. So that means this system is not right for us. This is outdated. We need a more scientific assessment process for children and cut down the school time. And children should be checked out from the school by 16, year 16. And then they should get into their professional education. So by the year 20, they are good at something that they like it, you know. A choice must be made at least 3 different stages at the grade 5, grade 9 and grade 12. They must have different fields to choose and broaden in terms of what this country is going, what the global trends are going in. Tell me, do you have in the grade 8 for a student who is good at AI technology? In our school curriculum, can he specialize in that? Just tell me. How long he has to wait? How long he has to wait?
Heading into the education system, there are plans from the Education Ministry that they want to introduce AI as a subject in due time into the system.
No, not as a subject, madam. This is again wrong, no.
You're saying it should not be addressed as a subject.
It's not a subject. It must be a line of specialty. I don't want to learn AI. Some children don't want to learn AI. It should not be a mandatory subject.
So what do you recommend?
I recommend that the persons who are good at AI must have an AI line. He will start full-time AI line. That's how we build scientists.
A path, you mean?
Path. And I do AI as a subject, I do Buddhism as a subject. That you cannot build scientists, madam. You must have deep into this one. You swim down, dive down into that subject so that you specialize in AI. And that you will see by age of 16, 17, these will be, they can compete with our international people, scientists. That's how scientists are built. Otherwise, you know, you just give a subject as a science. No, that's wrong way, no. Again, do it right. If you don't do it right, you will not get the right result.
Yeah. Now, as someone now with a lot of expertise and experience on your hand, why are you in Kuwait? Why are you not in Sri Lanka helping us out here?
I am in Kuwait. Actually, it is good for my country as well as for my family, right? I came to Sri Lanka sometimes and I did this diploma sometimes back to serve the country, and I feel I can actually do better outside the country than here.
For the country?
Yeah. Now tell me, of course, yes. And those who, you asked me the question, now you have the answer for that. Those people who, the younger people who don't have any opportunity here, right, at the moment, it's a temporary, I mentioned, it is better for them to go out, at least bring some money.
How do we manage as a country? Till when people are going out, when we're losing all our talent, How do we look after our people in Sri Lanka?
It is impossible. We must lose talents until the zero. Then only people will start fighting back for this. We haven't come down to that level still. I pray that this will happen fast. In next 10 years, there won't be an artist building up, because all the people who have the passion for arts have gone, right? There won't be any good financial analysts. There won't be good engineers. There won't be good doctors, because the people who have that capabilities are good, talented people. 400,000 people left on last 3 years. So this, alone with this, there's a cultural drive out. In future, we don't have cultural values to promote Sri Lankan culture, where people like you to talk about domestic issues, our culture, those will disappear, right? We will have a totally different culture. There are pluses, minuses in that as well. Actually, it's good that people go out and they come back equipped and then build the country, rather than just waste the time here. There is no hopes here.
I think many people leave the country and then they get their permanent residentship, citizenship in other countries, and they don't come back to Sri Lanka.
Now tell me, madam, how many Sri Lankans here has gone to international attention? Those all people who are working outside the country, right? Only very few here draws the international attention. If these people also go outside, they will draw attention. So
are you saying that Sri Lankans should leave?
No, I'm not saying Sri Lankans should leave, but at the moment, if the circumstances don't change, there is no incentive for them. I cannot stop them. I cannot recommend them to please stay. It is very emotional statement to say that you please stay and make the country. No, it's not going to happen, because for them to make the country, they must make themselves first, right? When you have a trouble at home, what do you do as a young person? When you don't have a job and you need to feed your mom and the father, what do you do? So we have to accept that one. I think there is nothing in Sri Lanka at the moment happening. Okay, there is a vacuum in thinking, there is a vacuum in implementation. System is corrupt. So at this moment, they don't want to be victimized in this corrupted system. So let them go out and bring money, and then when the right time comes, come back, and then they will build the country. That not the people who will be here. Many countries were constructed, built like that. People who went abroad came back and did. First example, Israel. Israel became a great country because people left Israel. None was staying. People are thrown out from this. Several nations throw them out, right? And then this Balfour Agreement, they came back and they built up. Now Israel is one of the very influential country. If they were inside Israel, I wouldn't think so. It wouldn't happen like that. So there is plus minus in all programs. At the moment, people are desperate. They have no hopes. They have no opportunity. Their energy, young energy, is wasted. I don't think that should allow. They must explore the world.
Well, that we'll leave that as an open question for the public as well. My final question to you, now many people will have many opinions and people will say different things. We do this, we do that. In a few years or now, if you were given a chance, if you were given a position to make a change, what would you do?
Position to change in the sense, if I get a job here?
Yes.
Of course. First, actually, it depends on where I am. If it's a bank.
In the financial sector?
In the financial sector, there are so many things to do. If I am in the government sector and ask me develop a policy framework for financial institutions, I would tell them that we don't need so many government banks. In the same city, there is this bank, that banks competing each other next to the same government. We don't need to duplicate these resources, right? I will streamline those things so that we don't have to overload the market for duplicating the resources and wasting, right? And I will establish the law and order, and the right financial discipline, and implement a system where the right person is posted to the right place, board level, CEO's level, and at the next operational level. Very simple, and within few years you will see the difference in the country.
All right, so that brings us to the end of an interesting discussion. Thank you for joining us today, and wishing you nothing but the very best. And I know you're in Sri Lanka for a very few days and you're running on a tight schedule. So thank you for taking the time to speak to us today.
Thank you very much. I thank ITN for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much. So we were in conversation with Mr. Asoka Rupasinghe, Head of Finance in the National Bank in Kuwait, and he's a former CFO of the Bank of Ceylon in Sri Lanka as well. So we are coming to the end, and we have come to the end of yet another week on the Spotlight. Join me again next Monday at 9 p.m. for a story that will ignite change.